Shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle in my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. The gift of silver becomes the gift of gold. The deepest secrets will unfold. The night is shattered by the rising sun, and all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of love, and wrap the broken pieces of this heart. Find the voices, make them still, and hold the shadows back and drink your fill. I'm tired of fighting words stored in my head, and all the dreams we've left unsaid. The sun is rising, now it won't be long till all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of life, and shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle, say my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. Together maybe we could learn to change.
Om Shanti. So, may I be bold enough to ask those at the back to come forward? Would that be all right if those sitting at the back should come forward? And that is because today we have the very wonderful and warm Sr Manda here. It's a special pleasure for me to be on the stage with her. She has been a friend to me for a long time. She came into Gyan in 1981, I think. And she sat next to Daddy Janki for all those years. Maybe within a few years after coming into Gyan, Daddy Janki took her under her wings. And while Daddy Janki expanded service in the West to so many countries, Manda sat next to her, mainly as a translator. But later she took on the role of leading the Global Cooperation House in the UK. And of course, you might have noticed that yesterday, during Daddyji's celebrations, when they invited our seniors on the stage, she was one of those persons. So we feel privileged, Manda Ben, to have you on our stage today. Welcome. Om Shanti.
Do I stay for meditation?
Om Shanti. I hope you had a restful afternoon after an exciting morning, traveling down to Shantivan, being in Diamond Hall, and invoking Dadi's presence, and then hustle and bustle of trying to get lunch, then coming back up. It's a long journey, isn't it? So I hope that you've had some rest and feeling fresh now. So we have an interesting topic: unlimited love for the drama. And it's meant to be a reflective session, so I'll share some thoughts to begin with, and then I will have some reflective questions that I've had up my sleeve for quite some time. And then I'm told that I should allow question time as well. So when I think about having love for the drama, the thoughts that come to my mind are that I have to understand what drama is and not expect it to be anything other than what it is. In the sense that we already know so many things about the drama, so many different aspects about the drama. And actually, if you were listening to Mohini Didi's class the other day very carefully, she took up this topic of having love, unlimited love, same thing, for the drama. Because it is at the confluence age that we are able to know everything that there is to know. Do you feel that? Do you have that sense that you know everything that there is to know? Now, sometimes we don't always like what we know. We sometimes want something to be other than what it is. And that's the only moment in which I lose my love. So for me, drama is, actually Mohini Didi mentioned this, drama is karma. But when we hear the word karma, we kind of feel, we don't like it. It's like it's a doomed thing. But it's not meant to be a doomed thing, but it is meant to explain to me that I am the creator of this moment that I'm living right now. That's it. I am the creator of this moment that I'm living. And yes, I agree that sometimes those moments are not very pleasant in the moment. But if I get wrapped up and caught up in the emotion of the situation, then yes, love is out of the window. But then I also feel that it's important to understand what we mean by love at this point in time. We think of love in very intense ways, whether it's emotion, whether it's pleasure, whether it's joy, all of these different aspects form our understanding of love. And of course, I can't help but remember Dadi when I think about someone who would demonstrate to me what it would mean to have love for the drama. Now, I'm not always there. I'm not always in a situation where I see what's going on and think, great, I love the drama. But what I do know is that I use my understanding of this moment in time. Now, I also think that drama and time are, in a sense, synonymous, in the sense that we might think of drama as specific moments in time, in one sense. But we also think of drama as the whole cycle of time. And within that big cycle of time, this time, which is the confluence, the drama of the confluence age is the most benevolent time. At no point in Baba, Baba has said that there's something at the confluence age that is not benevolent. Has Baba ever said that? Has anybody ever heard Baba say that? No. The confluence age is the most benevolent time. Period. Why is it that then when situations occur that kind of feel like a glitch? Now, I hope the translators of other languages know this word, glitch. Yes? Glitch is where something happens and it kind of throws you. And so when glitches happen like that, can I come back to this awareness that there is benefit in this? And in that moment, it can be hard, it can be painful, but when it teaches me to go on this journey to have a different perspective. Actually, Mohini Didi said the other day that drama teaches us virtues. In order to be able to reconcile whatever is happening around me, whether it's in terms of situations or people or relationships, I have to be able to pull out all stops from within myself and use all the strengths and qualities that I have in that situation. And if I can do it once, I can do it over and over again. A while back, I decided to change. I'm very kind of, boxed person in a way. I'm very left-brained, so I have to plan. I have my watch. I don't wear a watch as a result now, but I have my time. Everything has to be according to the time that we fixed in time. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm thrown. And I feel let down. I feel like people are not respecting, and all of that kind of thing. That's how I used to be. So if I think of time in this way, that I know this 24-hour clock, then time, and therefore situations in this time, are very confined and very fixed according to my perception of what needs to be happening at any given moment in time. But I remember Dadi in this, where, as you all know, Dadi would say very proudly, I don't wear a watch, but I know what time it is. Every time it was traffic control, she would know it was traffic control, and she would stop us all, say, check the time. And she'd be right. It would be traffic control. So this confinement of time that we think of, or we feel we live in, I remember a situation where I rang someone for some advice because I needed to explore something that was going on, and I needed to deal with the situation. And the person that I rang said to me, when I started to explain the situation, they said to me, well, hurry up because I've got a plane to catch in 15 minutes. And I said, okay, doesn't matter. I'll deal with it myself. And I didn't bother to explain, and I decided that I would deal with it myself. But I also realized in that moment that if I had phoned Nadi and she was in that kind of a situation whereby she's in the middle of something and I'm calling her, she would actually be completely present. She would give me the time that I needed and she would deal with it. And my feeling then it was that if she was catching a plane, that plane would wait for her. Now, it's not waiting, thinking, okay, I'm waiting for Dadi and Dadi is coming. But something would happen in the drama to delay that plane and she would still be able to catch that plane. Interesting. I've been in situations with her where there's 5,000 people waiting as an audience, because I used to travel with Dadi and translate for her, and there's a phone call, and she is talking to that person as if she has all the time in the world. There's people waiting. For her, this concept of time was that whatever needs to be at any given moment in time is what is happening. And that is the best thing that could be happening in that moment. You know, I know, we all know what that means. But when we are in a situation like this, our own stuff, if you like, of how and what and who and all of this comes up, and as all the things we understand goes out of the window. So then she finished that phone call behind the stage, and she came and was present in front of the room, completely and utterly present. Nobody raised an eyebrow to say that you're 10 minutes late. Because the moment she arrived, made up for any time that they may have been waiting for her. And that moment became the most beautiful moment for them. So, I used to wear a watch, and so I decided that I'm not going to wear a watch anymore. Because I want to be able to tune into what might be happening, what might be needed, and be present with it in that way. Now, this might be, specific situations or in terms of time. But to extend it further, that even though a situation that I might be in might be hard, might be difficult, or might be painful, but can I still be with it, accept it? And when I'm with it, when I'm at peace with it, wanting it to be nothing other than what it is, then I am in love with the drama. It's not the love that, gets my heart racing and gives me butterflies in my stomach, but actually it makes me absolutely still, stable, silent, and quiet, and with Baba. And I can only do that when I am able to be with Baba in that way. So imagine, what would your life look like in all situations, if that's what my relationship with the drama was? That whatever is happening, however it's happening, it is what it's meant to be. And this whole aspect of benevolence of the drama is very, very powerful, actually. Our body-conscious ways of thinking makes us feel that the reward of what we do or what we are engaged in is here and now. But actually, our soul conscious or a spiritual awareness knows that whatever is happening now doesn't necessarily only have an effect in this moment or on this moment, but the effect is long. And it could be for some time in the future. But to have faith, faith forms part of it, faith, trust, allows me to sit with it. But in order to be able to have this kind of love for the drama, I also have to have love for myself. Love within myself. I'm a bit averse to saying love for myself because, again, we think of love as some sort of a commodity and as some sort of an expression in some way, but actually love as a state of being. Love as a state of being in which I am conscious and I'm aware and I'm with, if you like, my own value and worth. And when I am with myself in that way, then I am love. And that love, funnily enough, it is love, but it's not love for something. It is being love. So in terms of the drama, for instance, when I am being love, it's an interesting thing. Imagine, could you separate this state of being love from what's happening outside of you? Right? If you're in a state of love, then whatever it is that is happening around you, whoever it is that is around you, could you be anything else other than love? So that the extension of that is acceptance of presence, of value, of everything that's around you as well. And that goes for people, situations, circumstances, physical things, everything. And the amazing thing is that when I am in that state of love in that way, then everything comes to me through that filter. You know, remembering so many things about Dadi today and the last couple of days even. And I was thinking, since I had to share this morning, so many things came flooding through my mind. And instead of just speaking of her qualities, but I remember being with Dadi in so many situations whereby all the rest of us are quite flustered about it. And she's completely quiet and present. So I'm remembering a situation where a particular individual, and I saw Dadi so many times where people would come to her upset, perhaps even angry with themselves, angry sometimes with Dadi. And because of that, there was an effect on things around them as well. But Dadi would not allow that to affect her at all. And she would completely maintain her own dignity, if you like, her own sense of peace and her sense of openness to whatever's going on with this person or even with the situation. I remember a person came to her, this was in the early days of when I was in Oxford, well, I am in Oxford, but early days of Oxford, where a particular individual who'd been there for a while, who played a key role, came to her and very upset, very angry, very frustrated, and said to Dadi, I want to leave this place, I want to go somewhere else, I don't want to be here. And Daddy very patiently and quietly and with a lot of peace tries to explain to this person, look, this is the best situation for you, this is really good, and your contribution is huge, it's very valuable. But this person wasn't going to budge. But I was also aware that Daddy was aware that their contribution was important and it would leave a hole if they were not there. And I know if it was me, I'd be kind of going, oh my, panicking. But Daddy wasn't panicking. And in fact, a few minutes, she completely did a turnaround. And she said, you know what? It's a really good idea. Really good idea for you to go to such and such a place. I know that if you go there, you will do great service. And I will make sure that they know what your specialities are. And she did. She did. And then when this person got there, he was there and did good service. A few weeks later, he says to Daddy, Daddy, I want to come back. But it was the way in which she completely was so loving and accepting of this person's desire. She was seeing beyond. And so my sense of this aspect of love for the drama is that I have to have that state of love within myself. I, of course, also need to experience God's love. God's love is the most benevolent thing. Unconditional, constant, always available to us. And when I'm in that state, I have absolute faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. So in actual fact, I don't need to do too much work except the work inside myself of being with Baba. And this aspect of drama being benevolent, I had this experience a while back where I said to Baba everything. It was a Thursday and offering bhog to Baba. And I said to Baba, everything, why are we offering bhog? We know everything that comes to us comes from you, and that's why we're offering bhog. But yet still, it feels like something that I'm physically doing, and what does it really mean? And I had this incredible experience that morning of the benevolence of drama, that everything, actually, if you look around you, matter, nature, elements, everything is there with this incredible benevolence towards everything around it. There's nothing but giving that is occurring. Because God is the seed of the human world tree. And God's primary quality is benevolence. And this benevolence is infused in every aspect of this human world tree. It is infused. It can't be anything else. So, matter, nature, elements, okay, there is earthquakes and tsunamis and fires and all of these things that are happening. And you think, are they benevolent? How are they benevolent? They are benevolent right now at the confluence age because they are taking us to the beginning. They are encouraging us and inspiring us to become pure and to enable them to become pure. But in actual fact, if you look at Mother Earth providing food for us even today, giving us trees, plants, everything is giving us and serving us in such a way that that's why this world continues to function in the way that it does. But my perception, when my perception can be the perception of benevolence in every aspect of life, then I can have nothing but acceptance and love for it. For me, another word for love is acceptance. And acceptance not just because I have to, but I'm at peace with it. And I am part of the whole scenario of the drama. And I think that at the confluence age, when we do realize that this is the only way, and I think this is also to do with contentment, that not wanting anything other than what it is, for me, is contentment. That I'm okay with whatever is. And I will use whatever is to allow it to grow and multiply. And so, I want to not talk too much, but I want to give you some reflective questions that I have. So recognizing that when I make peace with the drama in that way, then there's nothing but progress for me. Now, these questions are slightly long, but is that okay? Can I stop here? Does anybody immediately want to say something? Any specific thoughts anybody has? Okay, so here's the first question. I like reflections because it kind of makes me delve into an area that I don't otherwise go when I'm just on the surface. Describe what love for the drama feels like in your life. Describe what love for the drama feels like in your life. What is its basis? Remember in what ways and at what times your love for the drama has been especially important to you. Remember in what ways and at what times drama has been especially important to you. So I suggest you just underline the key words in that for you. For me, it would be something like what love for the drama feels like. What does it feel like? Remember in what ways and at what times your love for the drama has been especially important to you. What times and in what ways? At first you might feel like, I can't do this, but you can. So let's take 5 minutes to do this question. These questions that I have actually are questions that you could take half a day for even, but we don't have half a day. So let's say 5 minutes. And if you want more time, we can, but to begin with. You okay? Is that all right? Couple more minutes. Every time I look at these kinds of questions, I always come up with something different for myself. Does anybody want to say anything? Can we have a microphone? Yeah. So, is that all right? Does anybody want to say anything? So, shall I just share a couple of things I came up with? Yeah, yes, Leela. 1 minute, take the microphone.
Just when you mentioned about everything happening in the drama as it should be and everything is accurate right now, I mean, we can all understand that would happen with Daddy Janki because it's her karma, it's her power and everything. And I think it's worth mentioning something about, you know, when you're not accurate, when you're not behaving well, and things don't go well. So how to then accept that, you know, I mean, I understand there's benevolence in it, but say a bit about that first.
Well, I think the answer is in what I wrote. I surprised myself in what I wrote here, where it said, what does it feel like to have love for the drama? And I wrote total beauty. So, beauty, as they say, is in the eye of the beholder, right? So, when I perceive it to be something other than what it looks like, then I feel beauty inside myself. Beauty is not out there. I feel it inside myself. So I wrote total beauty and I wrote carefree. So I am not evaluating what's not going the way it should be going or what I'm not liking it, but I am knowing, this is the power of knowing, the power of knowledge that we have, that it's benevolent. So I sit with it. I've been through phases like that where things are going not the way I had expected them to go. And I've sat with it with a thought at the back of my mind that this is taking me somewhere. It's not feeling very nice or very happy or very comfortable, but still the thought that it's taking me somewhere else other than where I was. Otherwise, I would have stayed where I was inside myself. So, yeah, you do have to do a bit of talking to yourself. But at the same time, tap into what it looks like and feels like without that. So then the other thing I wrote was that the aspect of when is it that you needed to, when was it been important for you? So I wrote down, especially when things are not going as I expected them. That's when it's been important to have love. When I have been let down, when I have felt hurt. The way has been to trust, to have patience, and not lose my self-respect. Our internal state of being so often depends on what goes on outside of ourselves. And again, I'll say I'm not there every time I lose my self-respect, but I have to talk to myself and say, is my internal state of being, and this is actually my work at the moment, whereby my internal state of being, can it really be completely separate from what's going on outside of me. This is a very high state, and I can have glimpses of it. But when something happens particularly, and it really pierces your heart, then why is that feeling in that way? But can I really see myself as a soul, be that child of God, the one who has this immense fortune, and I have my own fortune, you have your own fortune, the recollection and the reminding myself of that and taking myself there again and again and again. Holding that energy, holding that vibration inside myself. That's the work. Just the knowing, but there is still work of creating that energy and holding that energy inside myself. Okay, I will do the next question now, and we may not have time for the third one, but these you can actually, afterwards, you can really take time, take an hour or two to explore some of these things for yourself. So anyway, here's the word explore in the second question. I didn't know it was there. I hadn't remembered. Explore how your love for the drama makes you carefree. Explore how your love for the drama, and I think, again, love and trust have to be synonymous here. So I will say, explore how love, trust for the drama, in the drama, makes you carefree. And what would your spiritual endeavor look like if you had total love in the self? I'm using the word in here because I don't want to use the word for. Total love in the self, in God, and for the drama, and for the Brahman family. There's a lot there actually, so much there you could really explore. So I'll read it again. Explore how your love for the drama makes you carefree, and what would your spiritual endeavor look like if you had total love in the self, for God, for the drama, and for the Brahman family. All of these things are connected. It's never just the drama. It can't be just the drama. Because I always think of drama as so many ingredients coming together. Like this scene, for instance. How many of us there are here? I don't know, 100, 150 or more? You've come from so many far places. I mean, even your countries. You've made the journeys to get here. We're sharing this moment together. But yet so much has happened for this scene to be created. And for you to be part of this scene, for me to be sitting up here to be part of this scene with you. So much has happened. So it's not a scene in isolation. So you have to value all of that that's happened at the same time in order to value this scene. Every single individual, their effort, and their work, their intentions and the desire that creates this incredible atmosphere of learning and openness and growing. This is part of this scene. All of that is part of this scene. It's not just me doing it on my own. So in order to appreciate the drama, you have to explore it in its whole entirety. Not just see that scene. Because when you see just that scene, everything is falling apart. Possibly. But just the example of this scene is powerful. So, what does your spiritual endeavor look like if you had total love, absolute love, never wavered from it in the self, for God, for the drama, and the Brahman family? Wow. It's the only thing that comes to mind. So let's take 5 minutes. Time is flying. Okay. One more minute. You know, when you remember God, when you remember Baba, when you remember and when you are with this presence of absolute purity and unconditional love, the only thing that can happen around us is alignment and synchronicity and magic. So my work necessarily is not to go through the, all the chores of being accepting of what's happening around me, but actually my work is to connect and align with Baba, who is that pure, unconditional presence. And when I align with that, when I align with Him, when I can sense that presence and vibration and energy, then only magic can happen around. Even though it may be things that are not going the way I want them to go, magic will be inside me. And therefore, my perception of what's happening outside will also be different. So ultimately, that brings me to love for the self, love for drama, love for the Brahmin family too. Okay, couple more minutes. Anybody want to say anything? Question or say something? I was told that I'm to allow time for questions. So we've got 3 minutes. Someone back there? Is it Tim?
Shanti. So I just wanted to give my answer to the last question. So
Right.
I thought, when I contemplate truly loving the drama, I can feel totally fearless in service, and it doesn't become about my limited vision of my part anymore. That makes me feel carefree.
Nice.
My spiritual endeavor looks like an exciting journey where I can get what I get from Baba is not just for me, but is for as many as possible that can benefit from what I receive. So my capacity to take more and be greater is more when I think that I can give more.
Fantastic.
To others. I feel enthusiasm because of that. I can take more to share, benefit more from Baba, knowing that it will be a wonderful future for myself and others, just by saying, Baba, whatever is your will, let me do it. Sharing uplifts me and everyone around me.
Wonderful. Great. Look how much you wrote. Fantastic. Thank you. Anyone else? One more we can take. Janet over here.
I think a very key word for me was growth. some time ago, someone questioned some of the choices that I'd made that caused sorrow and brought big challenges upon my life. But even at that time, I said, I can't say what's going to happen in my future, but all I can tell you is that wherever the drama takes me, it'll be for my growth.
Yeah.
And I really feel in the days of personal blessings, I got the blessing of being stable and unshakable. And I just think that I'm stable and unshakable even when I'm shaking. I don't know if that makes sense, because
Yes.
there's such a faith and trust that even the shaking is okay.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's not shaking.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Even when you're shaking, you're not really shaking. I agree. Yeah. Anyone else want to say anything before we start meditation? Okay, thank you very much. So maybe you can reflect a little bit more after, when you get some time. Thank you. Thank you.
Om Shanti. I'm making this announcement now before the translators come down. So first I would like to thank our divine Sister Manda for taking us deep into the drama, and to some extent to realizing that it all comes down to one point. You know, it's elegant, Baba's knowledge, elegant, and everything fits like a puzzle eventually.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that, leading us into
Thank you for
that.
the opportunity.
And the request from the sanitary department, maybe, we have been drying the dishes, that is we, the double foreign team, but tomorrow and the next day we have no one for drying dishes. So Sri Ram is kindly requesting, we need 20 people, and so if 20 people can stay back after meditation this evening, and he will give you a little guidance on what to do. Okay, so 20 volunteers for drying dishes tomorrow and the following day. Om Shanti.